Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday. I know it's normally webinar Wednesdays, but had a bit of a scheduling conflict this week, so it's a webinar Tuesday. It's 9:01, and I usually get started right at 9:03. So grab another cup of coffee, glass of water, and hang with us. We'll be ready to roll in just 2 minutes. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I am Kevin Roush, and I'm excited to come to you this morning. It's Tuesday. I know we normally do webinar Wednesdays, so thanks for joining us on the odd Tuesday, 9 o'clock in the morning here, and I'm excited to have you with us. Normally we do Wednesdays, but a bit of a scheduling conflict for tomorrow. Here, there, and everywhere. So we're coming to you live on a Tuesday. Good morning. I hope you've got your cup of coffee in hand. I know I do, and this is the extra large one. We got back from our very first 2020 real vacation yesterday. My family and I went camping up in a really cool spot near Temecula, which is kind of inland Southern California if you're not familiar with it. And wow, it was so nice to just get out, get away, and be with the fam bam. We hiked, we mountain biked, we drank some wine, and we had just a lovely time. Yours truly had a bit of a crash. You can see I'm healing right there. That's the good looking one. You should see the one on my leg, but I'm not going to show you that one. Honestly, it's a little bit gross. But when you're having fun, sometimes you get hurt. I'm purposefully stalling this morning because I'm watching all of you log on here, and I want to make sure we've got you here ready for us and with us as we get started this morning. Fun topic, marketing your practice in 3 steps. I know it's a big one, a large area of discussion, and it's actually a lot easier than you think, guys. And I'm going to show you and kind of walk you through my 3 favorite arenas this morning and how to market your practice. And we're going to focus direct to your patients this morning. So it is now 9:04, 9:05, and we're going to get rocking. So here we go. Tuesday webinar series, I guess, this morning. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have, there we go. Cool, there, now we're working. Our agenda this morning, we're gonna talk about traditional marketing. We're gonna hit newsletter marketing. We're gonna do social media, and we're gonna do event marketing. No, that is not me in a suit right there. He doesn't even look like me, and I outweigh him by twice as much. But hey, it's a good looking stock photo, isn't it? That is me, holy goodness. See what owning a practice does to you? 2006, my first year in business, my first year in my own practice. Sharp looking hair, I mean, decent looking guy, but sharp looking hair. And then that's me in 2018. Yes, it's worse since then. But that's what owning a practice and managing people does to you folks. Good looking young man on the left, old tired guy on the right. But I am Kevin Roush. I'm your speaker this morning. I've been a practice owner for 15 plus years. I've been a PT for just a little bit longer than that. I do get a chance to speak on a regular occasion across the country at a bunch of PT business type events and PT business conferences. And it's one of my favorite things to do because I get to meet you all when I talk in different locations. And it's so fun to network and engage with you. And frankly, just to meet you and to hang out. I'm obviously a people person, and I love hearing your stories about your office, your practice, your location. It is just my favorite. You are watching Perform Practice Solutions webinar this morning. Perform Practice Solutions is a service business that comes alongside you and your practice to help you do things like better billing, better marketing that we're talking about today. We do credentialing services, we do verification of benefits services, and we even help you buy and sell your practices as well. So this is kind of my service wing of our business opportunities here, and it's called Perform Practice Solutions. And I am excited that you decided to spend your Tuesday morning with me. I appreciate it, I'm flattered by it, and I'm excited to come to you with some fun opportunities for your practice to grow. So, last sip of coffee before I start talking for the next 45 minutes straight. That's probably a lie. Here we go. Traditional practice marketing. One of my favorites and one that I get asked a lot about. If you're a PT that is somewhere between 40 and 70 years old, that basket of cookies is probably what you use to market your practice to your referring physicians. And again, it's not bad. And I'm not here to say, guys, we should stop marketing directly to physicians, because let's face it, physicians are a great network partner. They're a great source for new patients. And I think we've probably overdone it when it comes to cookies in doctors' offices. Maybe you've moved on and now it's juice drinks or, veggie platters, something like that. But traditionally PTs beg and plead for physicians to send them patients. It's not quite a flattering position to be in. And most physicians don't have a lot of extra time to talk to PTs about their practice and sending them patients either. And physicians, you guys, traditionally, you specialists try to market yourself to GPs, and you do some similar things because you need patients from the GPs just like we need patients from you. But I'm here to tell you there are some better and different ways to market your practice. I do think physician-based marketing is a good and a solid foundation, and it should be part of your marketing arsenal. It just shouldn't be your only tool. It shouldn't be your only mechanism, and it shouldn't be your only weapon when it comes to creating new patients for your office. Like I said, it's not bad. It just shouldn't be the only one. Physicians, you either. Specialists to GP should not be the only area that you create new patients from. And I'm here to tell you, getting patients directly from the consumer pool is a thing. It's a doable thing. It's a really fun thing. And it's a great way to position your practice and yourself in the marketplace with your patients. I'm just looking at my background here. I forgot to tell you, I'm working from the home office today. We're still recovering from the vacation. I haven't made it into the real office with the Marlin behind me yet. So this is the home office. Forgive me if you hear dogs barking in the background or one of my children accidentally steps in the room. They've been told to leave daddy alone, but who knows? They're watching TV downstairs, so who knows what we're gonna get. So just a forewarning. But here we go. We're going to talk tradition. This was quick. This was easy. Now let's get into the meat of our topic space here, and let's go into newsletter marketing. One of my favorites. Again, relatively easy to accomplish, super fun to do, and there's a host of opportunities for you out there and how you get newsletter marketing done. I'm going to give you just a couple brief ones. Newsletters can be anything from printed, real newsletters like this Newsboy's holding right here. They could be available at your front desk. They could be mailed to your physicians. They could be snail mailed to your patients, or they could be emailed to your patients and to your physicians. Email is absolutely my favorite choice. I know that there might be some practices out there and some geographical locations out there that hard snail mail newsletters might be a thing, and that might be okay for you. It's not for me, and I kind of refuse to do it, and it's rare that I would say to a client, yeah, a snail mail piece makes sense. But who knows? I don't know everybody, and I don't know all of your situations, so maybe there is a reason for it out there. But let's talk about newsletters. They should have a lot of components to them. They should be good looking. They should be appealing. They should have some content, and they should represent your brand, your practice, and they should be relevant to your consumer. But if we're going to do newsletter, email newsletter based marketing, we have to have one very key thing up front, and that is email addresses. So if you are not capturing your new patients and your existing patients' emails, either by their initial paperwork, intake paperwork, or by your website, you should be, because that thing is like gold. Large database of email addresses are gold for your practice. One, it's the way we send newsletters, right? Because you got to have email addresses to send newsletters to. But two, and this is a really highly overlooked thing when it comes to finally selling your practice, one of the things we practice buyers and investors look for is how big your email database is for your practice and for your office. So the more you work on growing that database, not only does it help you market right here, right now, but it also helps you get a better price tag for your practice when you go to sell it. And yes, selling your practice is a thing. So capture those email addresses, should be available on your website, should be available on your social media, and you should definitely get it for every single new patient that walks in your door, right? So let's get those. We're going to look at some really specific examples of some newsletters as we kind of walk through this, and we'll answer the timing, the content, and the who on this screen as we kind of walk through and look at some different examples of newsletter e-blasts. So here's the big opening title. This one happens to be from my office. I decided to use this as the example set just because I had a lot of easy access to it. So this is a relatively recent newsletter that came out from Roush PT. And here is the header and the intro. Couple things that I want to point out. It's got to be branded well, and it has to be consistent, so that every time your newsletter pops up on somebody's email screen or their email home base, they recognize exactly what it is, and they recognize your brand just by the top and the opening. Pardon me. So a couple things here. You see branding up top. You see a tagline, let's get you to where you want to be. And then here is kind of like an intro and an intro graphic that is supposed to grab attention and let people know, hey, we've got stuff that you want. Timing on newsletters, I think your newsletter should come out at minimum once a month. Now, these are specific newsletters. I'm not talking about advertisements. I'm not talking about social media posts. I'm talking about newsletters, content-driven newsletters. They should be minimum once a month. My favorite, frankly, is twice a month. And usually that second one is kind of a bit focused around a community event. But at least one time a month, folks. And there's a host of ways you can do your newsletter. I think we all started, I know I did, by doing my own newsletters. I used to create the graphics, I used to create the stuff, I used to create the content and the text in the body. And I use eye contact and constant contact. Those are my two favorite newsletter services, and email blasting services. And yours truly, I used to do it myself, and you might be in the same situation. You know, a small PT practitioner, doc practitioner, you might be doing this by yourself. And guys, that's okay. In fact, it's good. I want you to learn that stuff. But as you grow and as you get a bit bigger, and as you've got a lot more things on your plate that you, the practice owner, need to accomplish, this is probably going to be something that you give to another team member. And you might have an in-house person who does newsletters for you, and you might have a newsletter service for you. And I've seen kind of all of the above, right? Though I have to tell you though, my biggest pet peeve is newsletter services that are not specific to you, your practice, and your brand. And there's a lot of them out there in this PT space. No, I'm not going to name names because that's not my style. But if you have a newsletter service that is not specific to your practice and to your population, get a new one. They're not that expensive. Shoot, we're not that expensive. But you need to have a newsletter that is styled, looked and feeled and written about that makes sense to your practice and to your population. So that's got to be a big pet peeve of mine. I hope you share the same, because let's face it, I'm tired of seeing that same dude in that purple tank top and gray sweatpants doing a hamstring stretch as a photo for physical therapy newsletters. That guy's been around since like 1991, and his picture hasn't changed. And if you use that picture in your newsletters or on your website, shame on you, I'm coming to find you. You probably know which one I'm talking about. So let me go back because I got a little bit off topic there. This is the look, the feel. This is the initial screen that is on the top of your newsletter. The next three slides are going to be different chunks of the newsletter. And you know, newsletters kind of go up and down either on your phone or on your iPad or on your computer screen. So the first thing they see should be attention grabbing. It should be like this, and it should be branded well. The next thing that they grab should be some content. So here's the meat, is what I like to call it, the meat of your newsletter. News, events, blogs, and it's content, because this is where your newsletter becomes a tool for your readers to share. Your readers not only need to read this stuff and be engaged by this stuff, but this should be the shareable part of your newsletter, because let's face it, I don't want your newsletters just to get one person. I want your newsletters to get one person who shares it with three people who share it with three more people. So make these things interesting, make them appropriate and applicable for your population, and make them relevant to the timescape and the period that we're currently in. And guys, right now, readership on newsletters through the roof. The COVID-19 shutdown 2.5 months gave people time to sit and to read and to engage on this stuff. And I know we're moving back into a little bit of normalcy now, but people are now have a habit of reviewing and reading and being engaged by emails and social media from the past 2.5 months. So take advantage of that. Give them some good information, give them some great and relevant topics, and give them stuff that's not just all about PT or doctoring or the things you do in your office. This has got to be new, fun stuff. This has got to be a bit different. Make it relevant and applicable. Don't make it say, hey, I'm really good at fixing knees, and if you have knee pain, you got to come see me because I'm the master in knees. No, 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 no. It's got to be readable, guys. And if you've got a team of therapists, massage therapists, PTs, Pilates instructors, yoga instructors, make them write the blogs. And that's what these are. These are two different blogs right here. Make your team responsible for writing the blogs. Again, most of you are going to immediately go, well, how do I get my PTs to write blogs? It's very simple. You ask them to, and then they do it. And if they don't, they have a problem. So ask them to write their blogs, make them do a couple times per year, and make them give you the content that ending up on your newsletter. We want our PTs, we want our other docs in our offices to be a part of this marketing scenario and game. It shouldn't just all be written, done, and accomplished by the owner. It should be about the other practitioners in your office as well. One of my favorite parts of a newsletter is a team member spotlight. Make sure you get this in on each one of your newsletters as well. It doesn't just have to be a practitioner. It could be a front desk person. It could be an aide. It could be your biller. It could be you, the owner, but I would recommend you don't do that too often. But definitely get each one of your therapists in your newsletters at least once a year. They want to share this stuff. They want to be recognized as well. This is Rebecca. She's an amazing practitioner. She's been with one of my teams for just about a year at this point, actually a little over a year, I think. And this kind of stuff, it's a feel good, it's an introduction to your other practitioners, and it should be in every newsletter. Here's the close. You got a blog on top and an event on top there with Dr. Morgan. And then you've got a little bit of a close, which was an event we did at a local jiu-jitsu shop down here in Dana Point area. And again, the close is, hey, be with us, connect with us. We're in the community, and here's our opportunity to engage and connect and call us. So 3 big parts to the newsletter: the intro, the attention grabber, the meat of the newsletter, news, events, blogs, and then the end of your newsletter is your close, and it's got the way and mechanism to connect with you, the practice, so that they know that they've got an opportunity to engage with you there. Now, there are some pitfalls that I think we all see when we open up our emails, because I don't know about you, but I get about 1,000 newsletters a day from a variety of different arenas, and I've got my favorites and I've got my least favorites. And some of the things that make them my least favorite are too text-heavy newsletters. Like, you know, the ones where you open them up and it's just words everywhere. Words aren't good, guys. Pictures are good. Graphics are great. Branding is great, but too many words on your newsletter is not good. If anything, there should be a bit of a story next to the tagline there, a photo, and then just a couple sentences about what the article is. So I would say, hey, you know, if you have a lot to write and you have a lot to say, put that on a blog site and then just intro it on your newsletter like that example just was. Your newsletters need to be relevant. They need to be about current goings on and about current offerings your practice has and about current staff that your office has as well. If your newsletters aren't relevant, it's going to be silly, right? So don't fall into that pitfall. And then, you know, timing on your newsletter. We already said once or twice a month is absolutely the best. But if you are too frequent, your newsletters are going to be overlooked and probably unsubscribed at a very high rate because you're blasting too much. You know, like those daily blasters and those weekly blasters, the ones that kind of just annoy you because it's nothing good, you know? So make sure you don't fall into the pitfall of too much, but you also can't be not enough. You know, you have to at least be 1 time per month, but you can't be too much at the same time. So there's a bit of a sweet spot in there. 1 to 2 per month is kind of my favorite target. And lastly, don't be all about advertising. This should not be about talking to your public about how great you treat shoulders, knees, and backs, right? This should not be advertisement heavy. Newsletters should be content heavy. it should be event heavy, and it should be connection heavy, because this is how we're maintaining the relationship with your patient after they've left your office, right? When your patients are in your office, it's easy to engage and it's easy to maintain the relationship because you see them and you talk to them every single day. But after they've left your office, there still needs to be a way that we outreach, connect, and stay top of mind for your patient population. And newsletters is a fabulous way to do it. So again, can't do it too much, but you also have to do it enough so that connection and that top of mind continues to stay relevant. Next bucket. So here's area number 2. Told you I'd keep drinking my coffee. Here's area number 2, social media. This one gets just used and abused a lot, right? Let's face it, this is a tool for our practices and our businesses. So let's treat it as such. And I am fine with you owners having personal pages if you want to have personal pages, and business pages if you want to have business pages. For me, all of mine kind of connect and work together. I think I have 13 pages from the last person who grabbed my phone. I remember them saying, wow, you really have 13 pages. Yes, because they talk to different groups and they do different things. But there's a lot of platforms for us to engage in the social media world. And each platform kind of has its own little venue or relevancy for your practice and your business. You know, my top three favorites are definitely going to be Facebook, they're going to be LinkedIn, and they're going to be Instagram. But they're my favorites for different reasons, because what you do on Instagram isn't what you do on Facebook, and what you do on Facebook should definitely not be what you do on LinkedIn. But all three of these things can be managed and work together to promote the expertise of your practice, to promote the connection to your community, and to promote some great ongoing things in your business world as well. From a timing perspective, this one is a little bit more frequent than our newsletters, right? And remember, newsletters take some time to create, they take some time to do, which is why we do them once or twice a month. But social media, this should be a lot quicker and it should hit a lot more. My favorite is minimum 4 times per week. And I'm going to go into the types of the posts that we'll do here in a minute. Again, your posting should be content driven, and it should point to different aspects of your business and your practice inside of each one of your posts. And here's a great question. Who does this stuff? Again, if you're small and you're a one-man shop, maybe it's you. But I would recommend that you have an expert do these things for you. Experts get it done a lot quicker. They actually get it done for a lot cheaper time per dollar spent than you doing it. Because let's face it, you should be the most highly paid hourly person in your office. And if you're having the most highly paid hourly person in your office do your social media and your newsletter, you're spending a lot of money hourly in creating and doing these marketing aspects and objectives for you. So, pardon me, excuse me. Just in case there's a few of you out there who don't believe social media and the interweb is a thing, here's a fun one that I found from Hootsuite just here in January. Their total world population is 7.75 billion. You have 5 billion mobile phone users in the world. You have 4 billion internet users in the world. And you have 3.8 billion active social media users. Roughly 50% of the entire world is on social media. So for those of you who say, no, I don't need a social media platform, or social media is not for me, if this slide doesn't immediately change your mind, shame on you, because at least half of the entire world is on social media. And I bet if you did it in a smaller geographical region in your home county, city, and state, your numbers would actually be a lot higher than 49%. So guys, it's a thing, and it should be a tool that you employ to make a splash and get your business and your practice noticed. I will agree with this one. Facebook is absolutely the king of the social media platforms. They do everything, and they're probably going to own all the other social media platforms very, very soon as well. So you might as well get engaged here. But 60-something% of all social media users and internet users are on Facebook. That's a lot, folks. Here's a little bit of what Facebook marketing stats look like. And you can kind of see my favorite one on the bottom. Every Facebook user clicks on at least 11 ads per month. And ads is just a part of social media for you and your practice. And do I think they're valuable? Yes, absolutely. Especially when you've got something new and cool and fun to engage or to offer. We use ads to talk about our upcoming community events, like runs or workshops or webinars like this. So we use ads very directly for stuff like that. We don't, again, advertise, hey, come see me, the PT. I'm the best guy in the world to fix your knees. That's not a good Facebook ad. But mechanisms of connection and engagement and education, those are great ways to advertise on Facebook. And if you're confused already about the difference between a regular post and an ad, then managing your Facebook and your social media is probably not for you. And guys, that is okay. It's okay that you don't get this stuff. The great part is that there are people out there who do and who speak this language, so you don't have to. You can focus on your patients. You can focus on the great work and treatment that you provide, and let the experts take over and do the social media stuff for you. They're great at it, and they're not going to get frustrated by the different nuances of Facebook because they get it. They live, eat, and sleep it. Here's a fun one. 71% of consumers who have had a positive experience with a brand on social media are likely to recommend that brand to their friends. I would say that Yelp really fits into this category, and Yelp is probably one of the most overlooked social media aspects when it comes to marketing. But Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Yelp, absolute top 4 favorites. And if you don't think your potential new patients are looking on Yelp before they call your office, you are wrong. They absolutely are. What your Yelp looks like and represents is the reason why they call you or the reason why they don't call you. So spend time on your Yelp pages. Make sure the branding and the look and feel of your Yelp pages is accurate. Make sure the photos are accurate. And shoot, guys, it's okay that you've got some bad reviews on there. Don't get me wrong. We cannot please anybody, and nobody is asking you to. But when you do get a bad review, make sure you respond professionally and well to it. I've seen some practice owners, like clap back and try to punch back a bad Yelp reviewer. It does no good. Tell a good story. Ask for forgiveness. Tell them you want to do better next time. But don't clap back and make the situation worse, because it's definitely never going to get better if you bite back on it. So again, this is a great one for you. Your people, your fans will call them, your likers will call them. They love to spread the word about you and your practice and your business if you give them the chance to. Remember, if you don't do newsletters and if you don't do social media for your business and your practice, then the only way your patients are going to be able to, spread your good word is by mouth to mouth. Don't get me wrong, I like it too. And a lot of our practices are entirely built on mouth to mouth. But there comes a point where you shouldn't, and you probably can't, rely on mouth to mouth as much as you should. So make sure that you've given them areas and opportunities to spread your word for you. And social media and newsletters are very easy transactions that you can have a share from one of your clients that, you know, gets seen to hundreds, if not thousands more than what your reach is. So if you give them the opportunity, they will, as long as they like you and they've had a good experience with you. And our stats and our other family members here, we know this stuff to be true. Here's our content and our timing slide. This is my favorite, algorithm for this one. Happens to be for Facebook here, but minimum 4 times per week on all your platforms. There should be one educational blog that gets posted and shared on your platforms. There should be one funny picture or funny story about your office or something new and exciting. You know, there should be some humor to it and some cool look and feel to it. There should definitely be a success testimonial, and that can be from a client, a patient. It could even be from a team member on something that they love to treat and that they've had really good success in treating. And lastly, there should be one opportunity to join us. You could remove those big, long opportunity to join us phrase there, and you could replace that with advertisement. But I choose not to say advertisement because it has a bit of a negative connotation, especially when talking to other practitioners. So I tend to say an opportunity to join us, because that's really what you're promoting, right? Is you're promoting an opportunity for the digital land of people out there to join your group, whether it's for a massage or a screening or hey, we fix this stuff all the time, but we're asking you to join us and to choose us. So again, one blog, one funny picture or story, one success testimonial, and one opportunity to join us on all of your platforms, minimum 4 times a week. And guys, if this is overwhelming and you go, Kevin, I can't do this, I don't have time for this, good. You shouldn't have time for this. You should be busy treating patients, managing your practice. This probably shouldn't be your area of expertise. And there are experts out there for you. We are just one of them at Perform Practice Solutions. We love doing this stuff. We have an awesome social media and digital content team behind the scenes. We love taking this stuff off your hands, and we can be, you know, soup to nuts, do it all, everything for you. And there's a lot of other opportunities out there as well. I don't want to just promote us. I want to promote a bunch of different opportunities for you. Shoot, you could have your own in-house. They're really expensive, but you could have your own in-house that manages and does all this stuff for you. But leader, owner, director, lead practitioner, this probably shouldn't be on your to-do list week to week. Here's 2 small examples of some social media advertisements. Not even advertisements, these are just connection pieces here. The one on the left is a PT talking about how he uses Alter G. And that one's a video right there. That one got one of our most highly shared and highly viewed videos of all of the Facebook advertisement we have done. And this was a great Alter G video about how Kevin Capita uses Alter G in the treatment of his patients. Super fun, super sleek. It was shot on an iPhone, so it's not super hard to do, but it just directly gives people a chance to see what Alter G is and what a patient visit on Alter G looks like. Next one there to the right, that is an Ironman triathlete. That's a post from her actually, and she's doing her own success story, and that's her PT Ashley there on the left. And she's thanking her from getting her back from injury back to an Ironman. And again, what an awesome success story. And that wasn't even done by the practice, that was done by the patient. Means even more. But these are just a couple of examples of what looks good, feels good, and is easily shareable amongst your population and amongst your clientele. Here's our advertisement. So this is something that Perform Practice Solutions puts out. This one would be on behalf of itself, in fact. And this is talking about different ways that we advertise, do blogs, fix your websites, all that kind of fun stuff. So that's kind of what good graphics and good advertisement and branding looks like and feels like. And of course we did it. So of course it looks good, right? Last one, sip of coffee. Sorry for all the Roushey photos, but for these examples here, but obviously I have the most of those on my computer screen here and in my hard drive for me to pick from. But I use them not as shameless self-promotion, because let's face it, you guys don't care much about Roush PT, but I use it to show you that it is possible. I use it to show you that these are things that you can do with your practice, and there are different ways that you can engage your community. So last big topic here, event marketing. We already did newsletters, we did social media, and here is the last one, event marketing. Now, I separate these into 3 different categories, but realistically, they all connect with each other, and they're really just one main stream of direct to consumer marketing. So these are just 3 channels that we reach the new patient, the new client, the consumer. And these are 3 ways that we do it. I like races, I like workshops, I like expos, and I kind of like health fairs. I put it on there just because I know a lot of you do. When and how often do we do these things? I actually let the staff therapist take the lead on this stuff. So they're responsible for finding events, races, fun stuff, and workshops across the community. And they take the lead on how often we do these things. Realistically, it's minimum 4 times a year or once every quarter that you're gonna see us at a race, a workshop, an expo, or a health fair. But more than likely, it's more than that, because it's driven by the therapist. Again, you heard me say that before. How do we get therapists to actually drive this ship? Number 1, you ask them to. Number 2, you tell them to. And number 3, you make them, because they need to be engaged and they need to have fun and they need to connect with the clientele more than just the owner needs to connect with the clientele. So put your therapist out there, help them find things that they're passionate about and they don't mind, or they don't have to struggle with connecting with. I should take that back, the don't mind part, but that they don't struggle with connecting with. Like if you put me in a ballet and a dance studio, I'm gonna have a hard time surviving. But if you put me in a mountain bike race scenario, which is what this is, I'm gonna thrive and I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be my people that are there. I'm gonna know how to talk to them. So find the niches that your therapist or your staff providers like and love, and push them towards those niches. This is what a typical expo for us looks like. And I know not everybody has an ambulance, but if you don't, you should. I'm just kidding. That is our Rehabulance, and it is our marketing machine. And it houses the tent, the table, the foam rolls, the mats, the tables, and of course the cornhole. Again, easy things to obtain for your practice and your business. Great ways to connect with people. And I get asked this question a lot. So Kevin, you guys go to expos and you guys go to races. Yes. What do you do there? My answer is very simple. We smile and we play cornhole. That should puzzle you. But we're not there to grab people and to say, hey, it looks like you're limping. Let me fix your limp. That's not your reason for being at an expo or at a race or at an event. Your reason for being at an expo, race, or event is to connect with the public and to showcase that you are real, likable people. You just happen to have this amazing background of how to heal people, right? You just happen to know how to do that. But you can't run around and say, I know how to heal people. I know how to heal people, because you're going to be on the news, right? And not in a positive way. But if you go to an expo, a race, or an event, and you set up a well-branded look and feel to your tent and to your table and to your stuff, and you smile and you come out of that tent. If you go to an expo, you should never stay in your tent. Never, ever, ever stay in your tent. You should be outside it, meeting and greeting people. And just just have fun. Run the run. Do the bike race. Walk the community walk. Be there, have fun, and play cornhole. You'd be surprised at how many people walk up and just instantly say, I got next, which leads to a conversation of who are you guys and what are you doing here? And that becomes a community connector for you, your practice, and your PTs. And let's face it, your teams of therapists, aides, and front desk and marketing personnel and stuff, there's going to be people who are better at this, and there's going to be people who suck at this. Both of those two hands are okay. We want the people who suck at this stuff to practice and try. Because if they suck at this stuff, like being at an event and kind of marketing for the practice, they also suck at treating patients and talking to patients inside of your office. Let me say that one again, because I don't think I said it very well. If your staff members, like your providers, if they suck at outside expos, community events, and workshops, they also suck at talking to patients in your office. And if you don't believe me, you're not listening hard enough, and you should. Because this is a way that you teach therapists that not only that this stuff is important and we need you to do this, but this is how you teach therapists to be better communicators and better directors of people. And this is a fabulous way to do it. Now, if they suck at it, you should still make them do it, but maybe don't push them too hard because you don't want them to be your only mechanism for outreach in your office. But the people who are really good at it, encourage them and engage them to do it more, because there'll be people who get it and people who don't get it. I still want the ones who don't get it to do it, but the ones who get it and do it well, I want them to do it more, because they'll be better advertisements and better connectors for you and your practice. This one happens to be a community run, actually right around the corner from my house. Like I said before, each therapist is responsible for finding the event, the run, the workshop, whatever it might be. I'm not sure which one of those therapists picked this one, but this is a local community run. You can see that they did run it, at least the two guys and Ashley in the middle there. At least the three of them ran it. Maybe everybody else did too. They're branded well. They look good. They've all got smiles on their faces, and they're part of the community. And that's your key right there with your events, is that you, these practitioners, your practice, your business, you are part of the community that you're working with. Last example of a community event here. This one happens to be a workshop. You can see there's a good bit of people in attendance there. They look like runners and triathletes to me if I'm looking a little bit more intently at them. But this is a workshop that's being done in an office. It's by invitation, so an invite was sent out via newsletter, right? There's your connection. Send out the invitation via newsletter. Remind people on social media that the event is happening. And then lastly, do the event. And I don't know if you can see, but like, let's talk about a couple of the things that are in this picture, right? We've got some media. There happens to be a presentation there on your left. The therapist in the white is actually doing the workshop and talking, and she's amazing, by the way. And then the people on your right, they are sitting. They're in good chairs. There's enough seating for them. It's a comfortable environment. And I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it on my screen. In the back far left, there is a blue table with refreshments. Waters, drinks, snacks. Sometimes we do burritos, that kind of thing. But your workshop in your office should be on a regular. It should be a comfortable place to come. It should engage the public. It should entice them to come listen to your therapist. And it can be on anything. Shoot, you can do a balance workshop. You can do a running workshop. You can do anything in the world that fits your therapist, your practice, and your population that your offices work with. There are no limits to this one, but there are a couple requirements, right? We have to schedule them, and they have to plan them in advance. We must advertise them and invite people to come to them. Again, that's newsletter. We must remind people that they are happening and they're a thing, and that's your social media. And then 4, we must execute them well. My favorites are evening workshops. 6:30 is kind of the sweet spot right there. And they're one topic, one niche, one presenter workshops. This one happens to be a running or a triathlon one, but like I said, they can be anything that your practice, your business, your therapist, and your patients connect to. So from the event circle here, we've got races, we've got workshops, we've got expos, we've got community events, and we've got health fairs, and they're all kind of that same circle where you and your therapist team, more importantly, your therapist teams are out in the community being the voice for your office, and realistically, they're being the voice for our profession as well. And lastly, guys, and I know I've used this on just about every single one of my webinars here, but it's all about your relationships with your patients, your clients, your community, your referral sources. And I like the word relationship because relationships should continue, right? That there isn't just a one-time thing that is the entirety of the relationships. Relationships require work. They require repeated engagement. They require good timing. They require different stimuli of different aspects of how we relate to our patient group and to our fans, right? Shouldn't just be the same thing over and over and over again. Our marketing schemes in our offices should be multifactorial, different opportunities, but they should continue and they should move forward and they should continue to engage your population and your fan group over the life cycle of your entire business. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for you. These are my top 3 faves. You know, we got the newsletter, we've got the social media aspects, and we've got the event marketing. And I promise you, if you begin all 3 of these and keep working on connecting all 3 of these, you won't just have an influx of patients from your physicians, but you will have a growing influx of patients from your direct to community line of new patient development. I call them new patients, I call them new starts. They mean the same thing to me. But I want to see how many of my new starts are direct from physician, and those are good and I like them. And I want to see how many of my new starts are from direct to community type events, direct to community type marketing pieces like newsletters and social media. And if you are running out of new patients right now, or you need more new patients right now, I would encourage you to take a step and to take some action to change the way that your business looks and feels and connects with the patients that surround you, because there's a lot of opportunity out there for you. And if you're only tapping the physician gas tank and you're not tapping the direct to consumer 3 aspects there for you, realistically, you should expect about a 30% gain in your new patient flow, your new start flow. And I'm serious about that. You guys just got a bunch of HHS free money from the Federal CARES Act. If you're a Medicare provider, you probably got a second round of it yesterday. I got one too, yay. And if you're wondering about what do I do with this free money from HHS, how do I spend it well for the growth and the stability of my business, spend it on developing ways to get new clients in your door. You've got 3 awesome aspects: newsletters, social media, and events. I can help you with all 3 of them. We can help you with all 3 of them. There's a lot of different ways out there for you. But I want you to act. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's the definition of crazy. Don't be crazy. I want you to try different things. I want you to engage your patients publicly and directly to them. And I want to see you move forward with different ideas and different opportunities to market you, your business, and your practice. So thank you so much for joining us. I do not have any opportunities to take questions today, so I apologize for that. If you have questions, feel free to email me. That is my email address direct to me, kevin@performpt.net. And if you're interested in looking at like what Perform Practice Solutions can do and different ways that we can push you in your practice, feel free to jump on our website and to get in touch with us, either by phone or by email. We love to connect with you. We love talking shop. No, there's no charges to talk shop, and I love just meeting you. So thank you so much for joining me on this webinar Tuesday today. I wish you all the best in your practices and in your family. And like I said, get out there, connect with your patients, your clients directly, and be a part of their community. I wish you all the best. Have a great day.